Tom Brady turns 48 on Sunday. We presume he's not coming back to play professional football. Now that he owns a piece of the Raiders, it would be a very complicated process. The only team he could play for is the Raiders, and the Raiders are in good hands with Geno Smith. But Tom Brady, and apparently this is something that he wrote in a newsletter that I'm sure he wrote it all himself and no one else ghost wrote it for him, and I'm just kidding a little bit, I think. But he disagreed with or took a little issue with something that Scottie Scheffler, currently the best golfer in the world, the closest thing we've seen to dominance since Tiger Woods in his heyday. Here's what Scheffler said recently regarding the things that motivate him.
Is it great to be able to win tournaments and to accomplish the things I have in the game of golf? Yeah. I mean, it brings tears to my eyes just to think about, because it's literally worked my entire life to become good at this sport, and to have that kind of sense of accomplishment, I think is a pretty cool feeling. You know, to get to live out your dreams is very special. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not out here to inspire the next generation of golfers. I'm not here to inspire somebody else to be the best player in the world, because what's the point? You know, this is not a fulfilling life. It's fulfilling from the sense of accomplishment, but it's not fulfilling from a sense of like the deepest, you know, places of your heart. I love the challenge. I love being able to play this game for a living. It's one of the greatest joys of my life, but does it fill the deepest, you know, wants and desires of my heart? Absolutely not. I'm blessed to be able to come out here and play golf, but if my golf ever started affecting my home life, or it ever affected the relationship I have with my wife or with my son, you know, that's going to be the last day that I play out here for a living. You know, this is not the be-all, end-all. This is not the most important thing in my life, and that's why I wrestle with, why is this so important to me? Because, you know, I would much rather be a great father than I would be a great golfer. You know, that at the end of the day, that's what's more important to me.
And hey, it's working for him because he's a dominant golfer. Now, there are others who would say you would win every tournament if you were more obsessed and if you prioritized your legacy and your career. I saw that Skip Bayless made some comment that he didn't have kids so he could go all in with his career. Like, that's a little extreme.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But just generally, before we get to the Tom Brady angle, I mean, I've got no problem. Look, everyone has the right to prioritize their own life, and it should be no one's prerogative to question them. You don't want anyone telling you how to live your life. Why in the hell would you try to tell someone else how to live theirs?
Yeah, I'm with what Scottie Scheffler there makes sense to me. I think it makes sense to you too, right? I mean, there's really nothing controversial about what he said because he's so good. I think those who will want to take shots at him and say, hey, that's why you're the 75th ranked golfer in the world. You don't have your priorities straight. No, he's an excellent golfer, and he's already told you many times that this is not the number one thing for him. That the number one thing for him is being a great father. And there is a difference. There is a difference between a great golfer and a great father. I know Tom Brady took issue with that. I agree with Scheffler. They are in completely different categories. Brady doesn't think so. Scheffler does, and so do I.
I also think this about golf. And I don't know much more about golf than what I learned while watching Happy Gilmore 1 and 2. But you do need to get to your happy place. I have learned that much. And I think in golf, the basic abilities to golf well, like you can get there without a lot of effort. You've got it or you don't. All the different clubs, all the different distances, all the different things. Like, I know you got to put a lot of time into the driving range, but when it's time to go perform, you've got to be in the right mind space to go out and make all the hits and make the club do what you want it to do so it strikes the ball the right way and the ball goes where you want it to go. And I think that it's more important, whatever it is for you as the golfer, to get to your happy place. And if for Scottie Scheffler, it's prioritizing his family and having that as his happy place that he thinks about before he makes the big putt, then I think it's going to benefit his golf game.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what he said Mike, if he were a football player, if Scottie Scheffler were a football player and it's before the draft, if he said what he just said before the draft, he would scare the hell out of, I'd say 75% of NFL teams. Oh, wait a minute. What do you mean? Football, is football important to you or not? The league is still behind when it comes to this stuff. And whenever people sound balanced and whenever they start talking about things outside of being all in and consumed with football, it makes general managers worry. So I'm glad he's saying it after he's accomplished so much. If you say it before the accomplishment, people start to look at you, unfortunately. But this is where I want to call Tom Brady out for being a little disingenuous. Brady said, hey, I think it's better. They're not mutually exclusive, Scotty. I play football and I put the hours in, all the stuff, the devotion to the craft, right? I think part of being a great father is being a great example of doing what it takes to take care of your family. I chose to do it by playing football. Okay. And he talked about dedication to the sport and practice. Mike, I'm going to say that's BS. And I'm not saying I'm not calling BS on his family. I'm saying you didn't choose to play football to take care of your family. No, you didn't. You chose to play football when you were 13 or 14 years old. You and your father put out videos trying to get the attention of big-time college programs. When you were a rookie with the Patriots, there was a tight end from Harvard who was Brady's roommate at the time. His name was Chris Eitzman, no longer with us, rest in peace. Chris Eitzman was his roommate, and Brady was the fourth quarterback on the Patriots, and he told Eitzman, I'm gonna be the starter. And he wouldn't let Eitzman leave the field. They would practice well after hours when everybody else was gone. He's built this way. This has nothing to do with, well, I'm doing this to show my kids that I've got a strong work ethic and I'm going to teach them to be dedicated to the craft. And all kids are different. This is the last thing I'll say. All kids are different, but I'm guessing 10, 11, 12-year-old kid, they would rather say, hey, are you at my game? Are you at my recital? Are you here for dinner? They would rather that be the case than, hey, daddy's off perfecting his craft. Most kids don't think like that. Are you there or not in their lives? So I'm just saying he's not doing it. He didn't start doing football for family purposes. He did football because that's how he's wired. He's obsessed, and that's what it is.
We as humans are very good at finding ways to justify our selfishness. And whatever it is that we just want to do, we can come up with a cockamamie or plausible explanation as to how it's not selfish. And that's the ultimate. I'm creating an example for my kids on how you properly provide for your family. You go out and you work as hard as you can. Yeah, but you're not working in a coal mine, Tom. You're doing something that you have wanted to do, that you chose to do, and you did for 35 years. Now, the other side of this, and it's weird because, like, we have this idea everything Tom Brady touches turns to gold. Every once in a while, something he touches doesn't work out, like FTX. Nobody ever talks about FTX. FTX was a disaster, and he was arm in arm with Sam Bankman-Fried, and that never gets discussed. And if he's going to go there and talk about how, oh, you can have it all, you can have a work-life balance, like 2022, things got sufficiently out of balance for Tom Brady that there were some serious personal issues that culminated in a serious personal outcome. So what are we doing here? Like, Tom, do we forget? Are you gaslighting yourself on this? You're not the example. You're the GOAT when it comes to winning championships. You're not the example for how to properly balance your life. And here's his quote. If we're going to quote Tom Brady, how about this quote, Michael Holley? If you're going to compete against me, you'd better be willing to give up your life because I'm giving up mine.
Yep.
That's all we need to know.
That's it.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.